What's that? Ancient Technology, Chapter 5.
Chapter 5, Ancient Technology. First off, we want to start by asking for permission to connect to the land here. We're at the base of Bell Rock and Courthouse Butte here, and many other names for these mountains here. So we always ask permission from the ancestors, the holy ones, the sacred beings seen and unseen here. And the topic of ancient technology, when we go into that understanding, it comes from a principle that goes back tens of thousands of years to the ancestors, to the indigenous people from around the world. And here too, amongst these red rocks of Sedona. This technology that we're talking about has to do with the material and spiritual worlds also. And the indigenous people had harmony and a connection with this land. They had the connection between the sacred sites, which now they call vortexes. And they would utilize these sites to gather energies. Some of those energies would be in formation of spiritual energies and come into manifestation into the material energies. So in that sort, we're talking about in a way of even source of light. Light energy too could come in many different shapes, colors, patterns, geometry. And this came through them connecting, the indigenous people of the lands, connecting with these sacred sites or vortexes. And they would do their ceremonies and work with the earth, air, fire, and water at these sacred sites. And they would do these ceremonies, and the natural resources, the natural occurring energy flows of the sacred sites and regions, specifically in this region here where we reside now today at Bell Rock. And they would do the ceremonies and call the nature spirits, call the elementals, welcome them and make commune with them. And these ceremonies would awaken and make that interrelationship between the sacred site and the being, human. And in this sort, that certain principles would be activated, certain energy flows would come to be, and they could connect them. It was a way that they could connect to what is called a field, the field of energy. And at different points there might be a yellow or a red or green or blue, all different colors, purples, energies that would come, and lights, and they would light up those areas. And this could also be used as a resource of energy to activate vehicles. Back then too, they had vehicles that could maneuver through time and space and around the regions around the world, interstellar. So they would go to these temples, shrines, sacred sites, and do these ceremonies, working with sound, frequency, vibration, drumming, singing, and activate those regions, activate the sacred sites. And these lights would come, and these elemental beings of creation of the natural world would come, and they would have a tie and connection to all other sacred sites around the world. And today you would see remnants in Egypt, you would see remnants of the sacred sites in Peru, in Bolivia, Colombia, all over the world. We see signs of the temples and shrines that they had these sacred sites that they were working on a daily basis. Much like here, you hear the above us we have a flying machine. They also have flying machines. And so the harmonic grid, the grid of the planet and of the earth, would be activated through these rituals. And this technology was utilized to sustain and grow food, to help the civilizations that were thriving at that time in their temples and shrines. And they had plentiful water. They were in harmony with the earth, air, fire, and water, the day and night cycles, the moon cycles, the sun cycles, universal cycles. And these sites were also utilized with inside of the earth and above and outer planetary connections. So they would utilize this technology as a form of communication. So now we have the technology of cell phones and video cameras and all this, computers today. Well, they had very similar networks going through the ancient technology that was held within inside the ground, with the gems, the crystals, the minerals, and worked them to activate certain vibrations, frequencies that would allow communication and transportation to occur, and to again be able to travel and communicate amongst one another. And these civilizations, many of the civilizations were called Lemuria or Atlantis. And we've reached a point in time now where a lot of these ancient technologies have integrated themselves into our society, as we see here. And it's not a bad thing. This is about bringing back the balance of the ancient technology and the worlds of the past, and bringing them into the now, and being able to build a better future for our generations, utilizing the ancient technologies and the technology of today and the wisdom of the ancestors to make a better today for the future generations.